It's a bird. It's a plane.
Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright, and you're listening to
the All Things Kryptonian podcast, including Superman and Supergirl.
We discuss games, movies, cartoons, TV shows, and comics.
Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.
If you want to help out this show and any other show on Southgate Media Group, and you really don't have the extra money to do so, check this out. Go to southgatemediagroup.com. At the top, there's a link to Amazon. Click that, log into your Amazon, shop and buy like normal, and part of the money that you spend comes back to us to help us with our podcast.
Welcome to the Krypton Report. I'm your host, Tyler, the Superman of Blue, the man of tomorrow, and with me is none other than your favorite podcaster, your favorite voice, the man who shakes mountains like they are dust in the wind, the man of steel, the Superman of red, Mr. James Cole.
Dust in the wind, huh? Like Henry Cavill crashing through the mountains.
Yes. Or Frank the Tank singing at Blue's funeral. All we are is dust in the wind. All right, so episode 13. Failsafe. So let's just kind of get into things, all right? What we got going on. So we have Tao and Cal. Like how I did that.
Their names are pretty close, aren't they?
My cat is caught. Damn it, cat. Dang it, cat. It's caught my cords wrapped up in it. My daughter wanted a cat. I got her a cat. People, I hate cats. Never wanted a cat, but I love my daughter. Things you do for your children. Now I gotta put up with it. I'm a good dad, I swear. But yeah, Tal and Cal. And we have a flashback of Tal and his fortress and Tal's father. We learn that he has a crystal that was his mother's crystal. And the father will deny him the chance to ever see it. It talks about weakness. And I thought that was pretty sad. Superman now has that crystal, which I'm hoping that he'll bring back around to help, free Tal from being his father's influence in a D-bag.
Yeah, he didn't destroy it like he did
Jor-El's.
He expected him to. He told him to. He expected him to do it like I did first. That's not super.
Nope. He takes the crap that people give him and tries to turn around and do good. Leslie Larr still at large. Say that several times fast.
Leslie Larr still at large. Not too bad. It's kind of a tongue twister.
Yeah, we need one more L in there.
Right.
Leslie Larr with Lois Lane and Lana Lang are still at large, leaving long lines of legs. The DoD is shutting down the mines, and the school is holding a giant assembly. And they're trying to come up with a story to, pass on to tell. And the kids are both like, "We're getting good at cover stories." And it's kind of like, yeah. Now so we're going to kind of try to stay on track here with a linear flow. But the mayor, in true politician, is a D-bag. Because he's sitting there talking with Kyle and Lana about, I'm going to change the narrative and let people know you were trying to help the town. And then flash forward later, we hear the mayor talking bad about Kyle and Lana. And Lana confronts him about it.
Yeah, this is the storyline that I was kind of merging when I talked about last episode. That the blame for the Cushing gives Lois something to do, and I think their story helps Lois in this episode. Lois is having problems with paper, the DVD, and Tony and stuff, and it gives her the chance to set things right with Christy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Christy's she feels very betrayed by Lois because Lois flat out lies to her about something. And I get both viewpoints. Like, really, I get where Christy's coming from. But also at the same time, I'm like, this is a story that is very close to Lois and her family. So, yeah, it's very interesting how that, goes on in the episode, because this is where I think I see it, where they're at the diner and Kyle confronts a couple of his people and they're like, "Oh, we thought the mayor talked to you about what's going on." And he's like, "Yeah, you trying to get my job?" And it definitely shows that the tension is rising for Kyle, where, and I've said all along, I like the way Kyle's been written. It feels very believable and a real character. He didn't sway into that exaggerated where you're just like, all right, man, calm down. So he was, mean, but at the same time, it kind of made sense because they gave us reason for everything. So Sarah is at school with Jordan, and now that it gets out that John's dad or grandpa's the head of the DOD, some of the guys on the team are all excited, like, "Hey, man, grandpa's for the DOD." And then that, we'll just say T-Waffle named Tegan is all up on John now, like, "Hey, man, hey, you wanna hang out?"
I'll skip and hang out.
So we have Jordan and Sarah skip the assembly and go for a walk through nature. Beautiful, beautiful walk, look like, and just kind of talk. And then we have Tegan and John go, and I like that John he's not buying her bull. He's on guard. And we'll just kind of ride that thread for a moment. She says to him, "Oh, so you live around here?" He's like, "Yeah, how do you know that?" "I might have overheard some things." So she's trying to dig into John, get information. She brings up his grandpa, brings up, the situation, asks him what his thoughts are. And they go off and they're parked somewhere. And she's just mining for information. John's like, "Why is it that you weren't interested in me until you found out who my grandpa was?" So he wasn't buying her feminine bullcrap. I'm very happy that he wasn't buying it.
Yeah, it was nice to see that he didn't just cute girl starts talking to him and flirting with him, and he just spews the information.
Exactly. And, because she had already appeared in an episode before where, he tried to flirt with her or whatever. And Sarah warned him multiple times to stay away from her. John's lonely. He doesn't really have any friends. He doesn't have his girlfriend anymore from Metropolis who, left him. because even Tegan brings it up. Like, don't you have a girlfriend back in Metropolis? He's like, no. And then he starts walking home. Not sure how long of a walk that is, but he starts walking home. Now, let's jump back to probably one of my favorite parts of the episode, if not my favorite part, is Clark walks out to the barn with a plate, a home-cooked meal, and gives it to John. And I love it because he's like, he brings him a plate, and, he says to John, you saved my life and everything. You can eat here for free as long as you need to.
Right.
And I love seeing Clark do domestic stuff. Like, he made the kids lunches. He made, food. Like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Superman.
Well, at this point, Clark still doesn't have a job. He volunteered for free for the football team, and now the Kents, the entire family's taking a hiatus from the football.
Yeah. It's just too bad that right now Clark doesn't have, I don't know, a best friend who's a billionaire. Like, hey, can I borrow some money? Or, go grab a diamond and just compress it and go sell it. Like, hey.
That's probably what he's been doing. They're just not showing that side of Superman.
Yeah, they don't know that they have a bunch of money saved up somewhere because he just sold diamonds.
Well, he's been with Lois for 20 years now, right? Like, they've probably got a good roughly. Savings going.
They should.
They should.
But we know how life is. But we see that John has his computer set up for monitoring Kryptonians. And it goes off, and it's Leslie. And they both jump into action. Clark goes flying off. John suit boots up. They take off. And we have a cool scene of like the DOD talking about her coming to try to break out Edge. And they're like counting down to impact, and Superman flies and takes her. And then we have John Iron and Superman take down Leslie, and they fist bump. That's my favorite part. Just fist bump. I loved it. I mean, they've come a long way. Like, now they're fist bumping. That was just, I don't know, it's good, man. It made me happy. I really like, they try to use the missile on Leslie, and I really like Leslie's suit. I think her Kryptonian suit looks really cool, too.
Yeah.
So then we get a scene where Sam talks about 7734 and how he's going to get rid of it and all this because Superman proved, But at the same time, I don't know if I believe Sam. I don't know if I believe that Sam would really get rid of the weapons, or if he's just saying it as means of trying to bring peace to Clark's mind.
I don't know. I mean, it's possible from what we know of the character, but this time it's a tad different than been portrayed before. I mean, he said he's going to bury him in cement, drop at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, except for a couple to keep Tal and Leslie under control. And then we find out, so Jordan and Sarah are walking and get arrested for trespassing. Not for skipping school, but just trespassing. And Lana gets a call, Lois gets a call. Meanwhile, Lana has no job. Technically,
trespassing trespassing apparently where everybody goes.
Yeah.
And
that just probably shows it's because it was Sarah. And even the police and everybody is angry because they're blaming Lana and Kyle. So then we have, they get, their moms come and get them out of jail. And it's when then that Lana sees the mayor running his mouth and being the two-faced person he is. Two-faced. But we get a very interesting conversation between Tal and Superman when Superman tells him they have Leslie. And he talks about losing control. It's very interesting because it makes sense that, Superman is always on guard for everything he does.
Mm-hmm.
And just the chance to kind of let go for a moment, it would feel good and relaxing. But he doesn't want to give in to that. So it definitely makes sense in the character. And Clark's the one that says he doesn't want Sam to get rid of all the weapons, just in case.
Yeah. That if there was anything were to happen. We get the great scene of
what do you call it? When they're all kind of coming home and they're like, Jordan, why aren't you at school? Or Jonathan, why aren't you at school? And he's like, and Lois is like, go upstairs. And she's like yelling at him and then yelling at Clark because Clark's, I don't want Sam to get rid of the weapons. She's like, what?
And she'd go upstairs without him or without even looking that he's still back there.
Yep.
It's totally a mom move.
Oh, it totally is. The writing for the show is great. And so what they end up deciding on is that they're going to entrust the weapons to who?
To John Henry Irons. Long pause.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to say long pause. Sorry, I can't mimic Jeff Goldblum.
No, I know. I'm just glad you caught the reference.
Okay.
For those listening, that's a Friends reference, and Joey reading his script incorrectly. And here's more where Kyle talks more about moving to another town. I put my notes. Oh, Granville? Just, And so, yeah, they're going to trust John Henry with the weapons. And he's like, wow, I don't know what to do. Like, he's overwhelmed. And the one thing I wanted to mention was John Kent mentioned that he always looks up to his mom, that he actually dressed up as mom for career day. And Tegan said she did too, which I call BS, but, whatever. But then we have the scene so basically what I believe has happened is Tal has taken all of the consciousness inside of himself.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there and he breaks out of the prison. The kryptonite has no effect on him. He breaks out of the prison. And it's a very oh snap kind of thing.
Yeah, he has become the Eradicator. He has become the Eradicator now. It's not. That. Yeah. He's become the Eradicator. I think that's definitely what's happened. He with the solar flare, he charged it up and absorbed all the consciousness of Krypton. Did
you get these scenes of him rubbing his forehead?
Well, because when he's arguing with his father in his fortress, his father's telling him that his way is the only way. Like, he doesn't care about his son's existence at this point. Like, all of the pain and the training he's gone through. He doesn't care about how his son feels. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He wants his son to be exactly how he is. He wants him to be. And he tells him that his way is the only way. He's the only one. So And then at the end, he's like, well, at the end of the last episode, that's what I think, yeah. He's the Eradicator. I mean, his eyes are glowing blue, his hands are glowing blue.
Yeah. And then the last part of the episode, he's basically up at the sun, absorbing everything. And that's how the episode ends, is just him outside the sun, absorbing.
Yeah, they're searching him. They're searching for him across the planet, and they can't find him. That's because he's at the sun, absorbing solar power.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome looking, though. Pretty cool effect.
So, what did you think about as overall of this episode?
This one was a really good episode. The last one was pretty good. I think this one's better. I like that this show is not wasting much time. I like that each one, when it needs to, especially this being second to last episode, because this coming Tuesday is the penultimate episode. This is the second to last episode, and they're starting to ramp things up. Only got 2 more episodes, so I think it's very good. And it's really cool if we're going to get the Eradicator.
I mean, yeah, because that is like one of the most like, what exactly does that character do? Characters?
What did the Eradicator do?
Yeah, because it always seems like no one quite understands him. Like, there's like the simple version in comics. There's the over like explanated version, and you're like trying to piece together what exactly he is.
So this one, I think this one, in my opinion, before we actually see what he is, I think this one is kind of an amalgamation of like the previous one where he was a computer, where he was, I don't want to say he was like a hard light construct, like the Return of Superman, the protector of, I mean, that's what he's trying to do, is be the protector of Krypton. He's trying to make sure that Krypton isn't eradicated from the universe. I mean, that part is kind of like always the same. But then in the New 52, there was what seemed to be like a biological eradicator that would emerge from a planet's core when the end of the planet was near. So I don't know, maybe a little bit of both, kind of a biological person mixed with the eradicator technology and housing, all the consciousness in there, Krypton.
I mean, it's a good explanation. So we'll see what he looks like coming up soon. Any other final thoughts?
No, I just can't wait. I wish both episodes were on this Tuesday. I think we get this Tuesday and then next Tuesday, the 17th. And that'll be the end of the season.
Wow. Already that time.
Yeah. Well, 1 month from this coming Friday, the 13th, they're going to be beginning production on season 2. That's awesome.
Yes, it is. It feels like things are kind of getting back on track. So, with just keeping. All right. Well, that wraps up our discussion for Superman and Lois. Soon we will have our discussion for the Suicide Squad. And we'll see what everyone thinks about that. Just remember, everybody.
Look up in the sky.
The Krypton Report is part of the Southgate Media Group network of podcasts. If you have an interest, check out Southgate Media Group to see if your podcast is there. I bet it is. At the Southgate Media Group website, you can sign up for our newsletter. You'll get info on all the shows, and you can find what you want. You'll also find links to our sponsors where you can get great products and support the podcast. Also, our book, Pod Life, Podcasting Stories. It's a great book. Check it out. It's nice to hear where people come from and why they do what they do. And remember,